Hello, all you beautiful people. This is Intentional Healing, and I am Nicole Bridger. What if I told you you have never made any mistakes? And I can hear some of you saying, what? Would you like me to list them for you? But hold on for a second. And before we begin, like always, just closing your eyes for a second, taking a deep breath, and calling your scattered energy, that's calling your focus back to yourself that's scattered everywhere. Just with your deep inhalation, allowing that energy to come back into yourself for these next few moments so that you can fully be here. Opening your eyes when you're ready. So we generally have quite a tendency to hold on to the things that we deem as mistakes. We almost stack them up, categorize them, file them, so that we don't do that again. And while it's necessary for us to learn in the world what we like and don't like as we navigate who we are and what feels good to us, it's only a mistake if you're not learning from it. If you're holding on to it and holding on to a feeling of guilt, shame, blame, fear, anger, then it's a mistake in that you are not allowing yourself to learn from it. You're holding yourself prisoner to these mistakes. Why you have never made a mistake is go back to that moment in time. In that drop of time, you were doing the best that you could with who you were at that very moment, the tools that you had, the situation you were in, and asking or expecting yourself to be anything different than what you were in that specific drop of time is impossible. And holding yourself prisoner just keeps it going for that much longer, instead of going, okay, I didn't really like that experience. I can see how I can learn from this. And next time, perhaps I'll do my best to choose a different experience. But as long as you hold yourself as stupid or bad, to blame, that kick in your stomach kind of feeling, then it continues to live and have hold in your life for years to come, rather than actually being a lesson. So how do we begin to shift those mistakes into lessons? It's simple, and yet we make it complicated with our human minds. But it's to forgive yourself. When you really see that you were just doing the best that you could in that moment of time, you can release yourself. And when you see that by holding on to the fear, the judgment, that in fact you are just more likely to recreate the very thing that you are afraid of, rather than keeping yourself safe from what you don't want to experience again. So while we hold the energy of don't do that again, don't do that again, oh shit, don't do that again, we end up manifesting more of that rather than moving past it and learning it. So now you want to ask yourself, well, why do I feel the need to hold on to it? And each one of you is a little bit different. So close your eyes and take a deep breath and feel into your body where you are holding the uncomfortable feelings around mistakes that you have made. Begin asking yourself, what is it exactly that I'm feeling in there? If that uncomfortable feeling could talk, what would it say? What is it afraid of, or what am I trying to protect myself from? Some of us have carried a feeling of guilt and shame our entire lives, and it feels so unusual or unfamiliar to not have that. It almost feels like that's what motivates us. How would I be motivated to do the right thing if I don't have this level of self-loathing or judgment? And those beliefs are simply passed down from generations. It can be a line of from your ancestors. Guilt is in so many of our cultures passed down as a way to control our behavior, show up as a good person. And it may have been passed down from your parents as well in this lifetime, where they either taught you because they also had that, so you learned by witnessing, or they directly taught you, this is what a good person does, this is how you show up in the world, this is how you stay safe in the world. And so your entire life, you're running from this place of fear and lack and judgment. And if you're watching this, you might just be ready to start shifting that so that you can begin to exist from a place of love, from your divine self, from your true self. Free from the prison of judgment, free from the prison of guilt and shame. You have never made any mistakes. You were doing the best that you knew how, with the person you were in that drop of time and all the tools that you had at that moment. The only mistake is to hold yourself there and not allow yourself to grow and learn from it. These uncomfortable situations come into our life so that we can see where we're not showing up as our divine selves in the world. We need those uncomfortable circumstances and situations so that we go inwards. That's the divine choice. Are you going to hold on to the belief that you're not good enough, that you should have done it differently? Or are you going to take this opportunity to step inward? What would it look like if you could forgive yourself? If you could truly embody the belief that you are already enough? Everything you need is already inside you. It's just a matter of allowing it to shine. So what does the process to forgiveness look like? You begin every day appreciating things about yourself. Notice your resistance to being kind to yourself and appreciating yourself. You've been running on such autopilot of judgment, guilt, and shame that it can be so unusual and uncomfortable to start appreciating yourself. So every day, start noticing 3 things that you appreciate about yourself. Begin forgiving yourself. And slowly, each day, and it takes time, there's no rush to the finish line. But slowly, each day, you begin to show up differently for yourself. You begin to uncover the places of unforgiveness that you're holding for yourself. Go gently. It's not easy as you begin to uncover those feelings of unforgiveness. It's no big deal. You're just becoming aware. It's no big deal that this is how you've been showing up. It's simply what you knew how. Even forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself for holding that level of guilt and shame. It's all you knew. It's no big deal. And as you begin to loosen the hold that you have, the hold of judgment on yourself, and soften, then that pure love and acceptance side of you begins to feel safe to show up. And as you begin to feel more love and compassion for yourself, you begin to feel more love and compassion for others. And you may even get to a point where you look back at those mistakes and you really see how they formed you as a human. And you shift from guilt and shame to a place of appreciation and gratitude. You begin to feel thankful for yourself, thankful for the uncomfortable experience, for you understand how it has served you and shaped you. At this moment, when you revisit those past mistakes and you start to feel some gratitude and appreciation, then you know that you have done the work there. That they no longer have that hold on you. And no big deal if one day you get triggered and you flip back a little bit. Just take a deep breath and come back to this place. It gets easier the more and more you do it each day. You're building a new muscle. You're building a new way of showing up. You're building a new way of existing with yourself. So I hope this has been helpful for those of you that have a long list of mistakes that you hold yourself prisoner to. Please reach out anytime, NicoleBridger.com. Nicole Bridger is my Instagram. Let me know any questions or thoughts. And with that, have a blessed day.